Hey guys, this is Kim, welcome back to Fablestan, and I'm just gonna get right into the video. Today I'll be talking about how you can develop and hone your intuition and how you can read tarot cards intuitively. So just a quick interruption. So I decided to break this video into two. So the first part, which you're gonna see right now, is how to strengthen and deepen your intuition. And if you want to find out more about like how to read a tarot card intuitively, specifically, it'll be like in the part 2 video, so it'll be in part 2 because it got too long and then I need to break it in half. So yeah, so keep going, like going with the video. So let me just start by addressing what is intuition. So this is kind of my perspective and how I understand it and how I define it personally. So by no means I guess it's not like the general definitive definition, wordception, but yeah, so this is kind of how I view intuition. I feel like intuition is your ability or it's kind of like an awareness. It's not really like an ability because I feel like everybody has it, but it's an awareness that you have, and it's the way that you sort of channel messages and information from spirit or from your inner self or from your subconscious mind. You know, sometimes your brain registers all kinds of sensory details, all kinds of information, and intuition allows you to tap into that energy or information field. It allows you to read a person or a situation, and then you can't really consciously or logically place it, but you would register in your intuition and it would translate it. It would be sort of relayed to your conscious mind as a gut feeling or as excitement or some kind of emotion. But basically it's how you are communicating with the information and the messages that are sort of in the energy sphere, I feel. And I feel like that's having a clear or very strong intuition means having a very clear channel between your conscious mind and spirit. I call it spirit, you know, spirit as in like a representation of the energy field and kind of the unseen, I guess. I'm just gonna call it spirit in this video, and which also includes your higher self. So yeah, so honing your intuition kind of gives you access to that energy field and all those unseen information that's kind of beyond the five senses. And for me, I kind of made a video sort of tapping into like kind of like similar to this. It was called how to Google translate your tarot card, or how to reading tarot cards is kind of like Google translating. Because for me, I always feel like intuition, everybody has it, you know. It's not like an ability you acquire. It's just about like gaining more awareness of it, learning how to use it, and kind of developing your own language and mode for it, so you know how to tap into your own intuition in your own way. And I feel like the way, like, I guess in a nutshell, how you can strengthen your intuition is to provide a clear channel for your intuitive messages to come through. So it's not like, I know like some people use the muscle analogy, and I think that's definitely true. Like the more you use it, the more you pay attention to it, the more you develop it, and the more it's more strong it becomes. And for me, I like to use this metaphor. I like to use the metaphor of a bridge. So intuition is really like you already have that bridge. And the more you build on it, the stronger bridge it becomes. It becomes a more accessible bridge. It becomes an easier bridge for you to cross over, or for things to cross back and forth. So that bridge is like your channel. And that channel is like, sometimes it's, you know, if you imagine a bridge, sometimes there's like a bunch of garbage on it. There might be like fallen wooden boards, or there might be a pitfall here and there. I mean, it might be like rusted or something. So all kinds of things can happen to that bridge. You know, you can have a lot of psychological and emotional junk stuck in that channel, and then it's really like about unblocking those things and about doing some shadow work or emotional clearing to have a clear channel so you can relay the messages, so you can channel this messages from the spirit or energy sphere to your conscious mind, to your unconscious understanding. So I feel like that will be the main concept that I'm going to be talking about in this video, which is clearing that channel and how to do that. And also intuition, I feel like a really good way to gauge intuition is flow. The sense of flow, the sense of information flowing to you, the sense of like how much clarity you're able to gain and how fast, and also how You know, sometimes you feel stuck and you don't know what to do, or maybe you're feeling really upset but you don't really know why. So I think a lot of things could really point to like how much flow you're having, and I think this flow also represents how much you understand yourself, how you understand how much you understand how you can sort of navigate the different parts of your personalities. Like a lot of it has to do with self-awareness and self-betterment and stuff like that. So yeah, kind of going back to the idea, like, if you want to strengthen your intuition, you have to make sure that this channel is clear. Anyway, so that's kind of like the really brief intro and main concept that I'll be talking about. So how do you clear that channel, or how do you create like a better channel for your intuition to come through? So that's the question, right? So there's like a couple things. So the first category, I would say the first big thing is to engage in spirituality, or any sort of way that you can improve yourself, that you can go engage with healing and engage with like inner dialogue and stuff like that. So the first thing is really work on yourself. I feel like if you are just trying to like, you know, just listen to your hunches, or if you're just trying to sort of maybe pay attention to the synchronicities in your life, if you're only doing that, I feel like you're just really scratching the surface, because the only way to gain, like, deepen your intuition is to go within. And going within requires, you know, like, really just, you need to be, you like, it's like a really big, complicated topic, but in a nutshell, it's like you gotta be ready to, I think you have to be willing to, like, you won't, like, want to work with yourself and improve yourself and seek to become more authentic and more honest and more free and more self-expressive and that kind of thing. So there's obviously like tons of ways to do this, and I think I just have like 4 things. The first one is to engage in your spirituality. So everybody, you might have a different religion, you might have, you know, certain practices, you know, everybody's different on their spiritual path. So really just the first thing is to engage spiritually and engage with spirit and engage in cultivating spirituality in your life, whether it's, you know, doing yoga in the afternoon, whether it's spending time with your family, whether it's doing solji, such as, you know, just cleaning the house with intention, going to the park for a walk, journaling, doing shadow work and that kind of stuff. So, you know, just, or prayer, or, you know, like cleaning up your altar, or spending time at your altar, and then connecting with your patron god or goddess, that kind of thing. So, or go to church, you know, all kinds of things, right? So engage with your spirituality is a good way to develop your intuition, because you're really setting yourself up, like you're really like in a mindset of connecting with something more, of connecting with something unseen. I think just that mindset of wanting to feel more connected, like with yourself and with the ones around you, with energy, with nature. I think projecting yourself in that way will help your intuition flow, because in a way you're saying like, I'm ready to receive more, I'm open, I'm listening, right? So I think that's a way that's definitely really important when it comes to developing your intuition, is to engage with your spirituality. And another way to work on yourself is to do shadow work. So if you don't know what that is, shadow work is basically going inside, going into, basically unwrapping and untangling the thread and the layers in your psyche and your narratives, looking at what disempowers you, what empowers you, looking at your stories, looking at what's causing you all these negative or positive emotions, looking at your projections, trying to get to the bottom of things in a way. So basically working with your ego consciousness and trying to untangle it, so you would come from, like, when you make decisions, or when you engage in a relationship, when you are having a dialogue with yourself or with others, when you're faced with challenges, that kind of thing, you will be able to come from a really authentic place. When you make decisions, you will come from a place where it's liberated, you're not under any social conditioning, you're not under any sort of expectations that you have for yourself or for others. But I guess keep this in mind, it's like, I feel like it's a never-ending story, it's a never-ending journey. I feel like you can't just get to a point where you've finished all your shadow work and you're just completely enlightened and you're just like an advanced human being, you're done with all your spiritual lessons. I think if you're that, then there's no point in being human. You know, I feel like as long as you're human, you will have those lessons, there will be new aspects of you for you to discover, there will be new things to learn, there will be new lessons and new challenges, that kind of thing. So it's not like, if you feel like, oh, why is this issue popping up again? I thought I resolved it. You know, sometimes it it's not like, I don't want to say it's not 100%. It's not like a light switch that you can just flick off. It's like, oh, bye bye shadow, and then you're done. It's not. It's never like that, right? It's about like the choices you make every day, and then progressively you will, for sure, you'll get better. But yeah, you know, it's a never-ending story. So shadow work. That's another thing to strengthen your intuition. I think this is a really important one because shadow work really helps you get rid of all the emotional and psychological junk that's stuck on that bridge, that's stuck, you know, that's blocking you from blocking the flow from coming in from your intuitive channel. Because if you have layers and layers of emotional gunk and just stuff, imagine your intuitive insight, your gut feeling has to like be filtered through all of that, has to find its way through all of that junk just to get to your conscious mind. And you might be also under the influence of your stress and just a bunch of other emotional clusterfuck, as I love my, as just quoting my little brother, that's how he describes anything that's messed up in this world. But yeah, shadow work is definitely big, and then it's a big topic, so if you want to find out more about it, sometimes I talk about it, but you can check out Kellyanne's channel. She's like, amazing stuff about shadow work on her channel, on her website, so if you want to find out more about this topic, totally go to her channel. But shadow work, there, so you can develop your intuition that way. So it does definitely take commitment. It's not like, yeah, I'm gonna do like one session and then, you know, it's not like a one session thing. It's just more like a life choice, really. So I think honing your intuition is definitely like a practice and a commitment in your life. It's something that's bigger and deeper than just like you want to study like Japanese or something. It's more like you want to study Japanese, you want to move to a place where people speak Japanese, you want to use Japanese, and you want to express yourself in Japanese. So I feel like that's what like honing intuition is. Like it's like a really, it's not just one skill. It's like one skill, but it's also a culture, if that makes sense. Okay, and another way to kind of work on yourself is to really engage with creativity. Creativity, really, this just, I think creativity is so amazing because once you find something that you can really creatively express yourself with, something that when you're making art or when you're engaging, it doesn't even have to be something visibly artsy, you know, it could be like just organizing shelves on your, or organizing books on your shelf. Like, I feel like anything that makes you feel like you're impacting, you're affecting the environment, something is coming out of you in a good way, and then it makes you happy, and it makes you feel like you're being yourself. And I feel like that's creativity. Creativity is really our life force, right? Like life is about creation and becoming, right? So when you're being creative, it doesn't mean like it doesn't just mean that you're being artsy. It means that you're doing something that allows you to be yourself in a really honest way. So creativity is definitely, I think it's a good way to gauge how intuitively you can become involved in, what the heck? Grammar is falling apart. But yeah, like creativity is a good way to gauge how, I guess, your intuitive flow, like how much, kind of like is it stuck, is it flowing? Because I feel like when you're feeling creative and inspired, that's the keyword. I feel like that's when you have a lot of flow. That's when your intuition is also working. It's also like the gears are also turning. I feel like it's really connected. Like you have to be creative, or you have to, you know, when you're creative, when you're inspired, your intuition is also like flowing too. So anything that allows your spirit to speak, anything that allows your spirit to express itself, anything that allows you to be creative, it's a good thing to engage in because definitely it's transferable when it comes to intuition. You know, like all those transferable skills. I don't know if you have to do this in high school when you write all those resumes and whatever, resume workshops. But yeah, creativity definitely is connected with intuition. So anything, like just be creative, you know. Do something that makes you happy and something that makes you feel creative. And on that note, I think just to sum everything up, I think everything I've said is really about trying to be more authentic, trying to live yourself in a really authentic way. And I think just trying to be more authentic and trying to be more emotionally honest, trying to be more honest with your own feelings, with how you perceive things and what other people are doing, how you're involved with relationships and challenges or work or career or family or that kind of stuff. I feel like the more honest you are, and by honest I don't mean like just telling the truth. By honest I mean like recognizing your own truth, recognizing your personal truths, you know, recognizing the things that define you thus far, and then recognizing the things that are impacting you at this moment, recognizing what you want for the future, what you want to like deep inside. I feel like, you know, that's emotional honesty. That's being honest with yourself. That's just being authentic. So cultivating authenticity and creativity and spirituality, I feel everything is really connected. I think everything's just about like trying to allow your spirit to come through and trying to answer your calling and trying to like allow your spirit to embody, or trying to embody your spirit and trying to embody its purpose. I feel like once you've done that, or once you're sort of, if you're undergoing that process, or you've just like, this is something that you've always been doing, and then this is like a commitment that you have, this is a choice that you've made. I feel like intuition is just kind of like a secondary thing that just comes naturally, because if you are listening to your spirit, if you're honoring your spirit's calling, if you're honoring your spirit, your intuition is kind of just like something that you just will naturally have, because if you're listening, if you're a good listener, if you're embodying yourself in a really authentic way, then intuition is just, it should be second nature. Like, honestly, it should just be something like, oh, intuition, I just never thought it's like a thing that people would have to practice. It's kind of like, I mean, I've always just listened to my spirit. Like, what are you talking about? So something like that, right? So working on yourself, becoming a better person, listening to your spirit more definitely helps with your intuition. So, in the following the same line as creativity, when it comes to creativity, other than creating your own stuff, I think it's also another good way to develop your intuition is to engage with art. Engage with art that you like. So art could be music, could be painting, could be reading a good book, could be watching a dance routine, or anything that really makes you feel inspired, anything that allows you to engage in art, you know, anything that's so expressive, and that's anything that has a message or anything that has an emotion that's trying to come through. And I feel like appreciating art and enjoying art, I think allowing yourself to be in that space of inspiration and appreciation, that helps open up the channels for your intuition, because it just, it's kind of like engaging with spirituality, you know. It's kind of like you're saying that I'm open to receive, I'm open to sort of receive messages from something that another person has created. I think it's like, it takes some, like, when you're trying to understand a piece of art, when you're trying to understand a story, it's like I feel like on one hand, it's like the things that make you feel something are the things that probably are tapping into your own stories and your own narratives, right? It's tapping into the experiences that you have. It's tapping into the aspects of yourself that you have. That's why if you look at all the characters that you really love in a movie, you would find that you relate to them, because they either represent you in your life, or they represent the life that you want to live or have yet to live, or they just represent an aspect of your personality. Like, for me, I've always really liked rebels and trickster type characters where they're kind of outside of the system, and then they have to go attack the system or try to right a wrong, or like Katniss Everdeen from Hunger Games. I also really like characters that have a strong inner child, or kind of prankster archetype, like Peter Pan and Monkey King from Journey to the West. So these are all aspects of me, because I'm kind of a prankster. I have a really strong inner child archetype. I also don't really like following the rules, even though I'm like really good natured. I just hate following the rules. I kind of like to do my own thing in a peaceful way. I mean, I'm definitely not going to start a rebellion, but I just feel like I like my own quirks, and I want to do my own thing, sort of thing. So yeah, paying attention to what inspires you, what moves you, what you are able to relate to, I think gives you insight into yourself and what you like, what you're like, and what your spirit's calling is, where your archetypes are, and that kind of thing. And I think, and just, you know, like appreciating art just makes you happy, right? Like listening to like a song that you really like. And I think listening to good music really pulls you down, like in a way that like really grounds you, because when sound fills the space, it's just like you're in that space with all those sounds. So appreciating art and engaging in art is a good way to develop your intuition. I think just a good practice to have in life anyway. So yeah. Alright, so this is part one of the video, and I hope you enjoyed it. I hope you find that helpful. And yeah, honestly, I think intuition is not a separate muscle. It's like it's just part of being more aware, more authentic, and more spiritual, more you. So I think when you're more you, when you're more transparent, and when you have that kind of clarity within yourself, intuition it should be something like, it's just something that you would naturally have when you're very in tune with your spirit. Because when you're in tune with your spirit, that means you have a pretty good intuition already, because you're listening, you're always listening. Anywho, hope you enjoyed that video. If you have any questions, leave a comment down below. And speaking of intuition, Jessi has an amazing course on on Tarot Summer School. I'm gonna start calling it Summer School now. Oh god. Tarot Summer School. She's teaching a course about how to read cards intuitively. I haven't personally signed up yet, but she's awesome, so her course is awesome by default, so you should definitely enroll in all the other awesome courses on there. Not affiliated, I'm just saying, like, because peeps are awesome up there. I think definitely might be on there next year, who knows? I need to apply, but I might want to teach a course on tarot and productivity, I don't know, and tarot and something, and storytelling. I don't know. It just seems like I just found out about this year that there's a Tarot Summer School, and I'm just like, I should have been on there, I should have done it, or should have taught something, or something, yeah. But next year, maybe, still thinking about it. But yeah, anywho, until next time, be the hero on story, and level up in life. Yeah, keep calm, and tarot on. Laters.